It is one of the most glamorous locations in sport, so where better to party for Charles Leclerc after the Ferrari driver won his home Grand Prix for the first time, becoming the first driver from Monaco to win the race in F1.
And that's not the only really big talking point from the race. So let's speak to our reporter now, Craig Slater. Craig, very good morning to you. We're not envious at all.
Monte Carlo is even more glamorous than Craig Slater.
Of course it is. No doubting Leclerc, where he'll have had a big night of celebrations. How important is it for him to be right back on the top step of the podium, given we know the arrival of Lewis Hamilton next season at Ferrari?
Yeah, you know what? I think this location it was maybe part of Charles Leclerc's, if he had one, slight image problem. He grew up around here. He comes not from super wealth, but from a very comfortable background. Maybe one or two people questioned whether he was the street fighter, had the backbone to go and be tough and win a world championship. When Lewis Hamilton was signed by Ferrari, some people considered that it was Ferrari showing a vote of no confidence in Charles Leclerc's ability to spearhead a world title challenge. So very important that he won yesterday. I mean, Jamie, you follow golf. This was Charles Leclerc who'd failed to convert his 11 previous pole positions. Imagine a golfer who'd led going into the final round of 12 majors and not converted any of those leads into victory. So I think relief as much as anything else for Charles Leclerc. I shook the hand and congratulated his manager, Nicolas Todt, son of the FIA president, Jean Todt, yesterday. He looked mightily relieved that Charles had got over the line. But there is this theory about Ferrari that they coalesce around Il Grande Homo, the big man. So there's two major figures next year, Hamilton coming in and also Leclerc. And Leclerc needs to go into that season, I think, with a good championship year behind him. This year, who knows, it might even end up in a championship challenge. So vital, I think, that he gained that victory yesterday. And now, once again, we can start talking about him as a future world champion.
Craig, we had that chaotic opening lap yesterday where, I mean, Sergio Perez to walk away from that car was incredible, unscathed. But it was the collision between the two Alpine drivers which could have the longest lasting effect. And that statement yesterday from the Alpine boss, if I was Esteban Ocon, I'd be slightly nervous at the moment.
Well, yes, that's Bruno Faman you're talking about. He was actually on the pit wall with Canal Plus, who called him up immediately in the aftermath of that first lap crash. And Faman spoke angrily, and he talked about taking a tough decision, which everyone has interpreted as benching Esteban Ocon for the next race in Canada. What I can say to you is that is still a serious consideration for the Alpine boss, Bruno Faman. He will do what is best for the team, but if he decides that leaving Esteban Ocon out for a week as a demonstration of how team discipline needs to be, he is prepared to do that, but that decision has yet to be taken. There were face-to-face meetings between Ocon and Faman in the aftermath of the Grand Prix yesterday. Ocon apologised both privately, face-to-face, and publicly afterwards via social media. So let's see what happens. I think what it does do is call into question whether Ocon will continue with the team beyond next year. We all cast up the fact that he was a childhood rival of the other Alpine driver, Pierre Gasly, and could the two happily coexist in the same team? Well, this is another example of them not coexisting happily. And the other thing is, as far as most observers were concerned, it was a needlessly optimistic attempt Ocon made to pass. It could have cost the team any points in the Grand Prix. It could have taken both the drivers out the race. And with the situation as it is at the moment, with anyone outside the top 5 teams really struggling to get points, it could have left them without, again, at the back of the constructors' standings. So in the end, Gasly was able to get a point. It keeps them on 2 points for the season, but that's an illustration of just how costly that crash could be. So we wait and see. I think it would be a big decision to drop someone like Esteban Ocon. It really rarely happens. You don't see it happen. And this would be, remember, not that he's unavailable to race. He has a 5-place grid penalty for Canada, and that would carry on to whoever got in that seat, of course. So, but it is, as I understand it today, still a potential outcome here. Bruno Faman is weighing up whether or not to drop Ocon for the next Grand Prix. It's in a couple of weeks' time. Let's see if he does take that very, very big call.
Well, we've had 4 different winners, haven't we, in the last 6 races, Craig? So who's your favourite going into Canada next time out?
Yeah, well, the good thing is we all came into this season almost gifting Max Verstappen the World Championship, and like you say, things have livened up considerably. Verstappen really struggled and had some quite detailed explanations why his car didn't go well in Monaco. He said it's a problem they've had all along. It was just that the other characteristics of their car made it so superior that it didn't show up on street tracks. But they couldn't win in Singapore last year, only 6th on the grid, which was dint of Verstappen's virtuosity in qualifying, I think, as much as how the car got on. Sergio Perez, remember, didn't get out of Q1 in qualifying in the other Red Bull. Canada is another part street track. It is bumpy again. Ferrari should go well there. McLaren should go well there as well. Mercedes had a good race there last year. Lewis Hamilton on the podium. So I think there's every chance that it will be a real battle, and it will take the best of Max Verstappen if he's to get back to the top step of the podium in Canada. And, you know, we don't begrudge Max Verstappen winning. It's just, it's not great to see him winning as easily as he has been over the past couple of years. And one of the great things about Red Bull maybe not being so commanding at the front is we are seeing the brilliance of Max Verstappen week in, week out. And I think we'll have to see it again next time in Canada if he is going to post another victory.
Craig, we'll let you get back to your breakfast on your yacht. That Bucks Fizz will be getting warm, so we'll let you
Needs to
go.
go and find Mbappe, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
See if you can finish the conversation that Martin Brundle started. Canada is, as we mentioned, next up in the Formula One calendar, and that is from June the 7th, live on Sky Sports F1.